Welcome to Life Unpacked with Mel. Today I am with the gorgeous Gayle. I'm so glad that you could come and share your beautiful story with us. So welcome.
Thanks for having me.
So I have known we've known each other for a while, haven't we?
A long time, yeah.
Which is good. And you are currently living at home with your mum and your beautiful son.
Joel, yeah.
Yeah. How old is Joel now?
Joel's 10, almost 11.
Nice.
Yeah,
Yeah. And
yeah.
he has a beautiful story of how he came into the world too.
That's it. He does.
So, full disclosure to people, you are Belinda's twin sister.
That's correct. Yeah.
And so, our beautiful Belinda, that people would have heard in our first podcast that was released. And this whole series that we're doing is dedicated to her beautiful life, of her being such an inspiration to all of us. But today, I know that we're going to talk about how much of being a twin has impacted your life, and losing her has also impacted your life. But this is really about sharing your story, all of your story, which I think is really important. It's nice to reflect on. And as I do with other people when we go through, we kind of pick out themes and words that we write down because it really helps you then when we put it all together, kind of at the end, we get a clearer picture of what we're working. So we have worked together for a while, and that's why I thought life stories are so interesting that I really wanted to share your story with you about. So, when were you born?
So born in 1975,
Yeah.
October the 5th. Obviously one of two. So I was second. So I'm the youngest in the family. I do have an older brother. Belinda, my twin, arrived 1 minute earlier than me.
1 minute. Wow.
1 minute,
You're
yes.
quick to compete to get that.
It was a cesarean, so
Mm.
yeah. I know we've spoken before about birth order and things like that. I think I'm supposed to be first, but
Yeah.
no, she jumped it. Yeah, she
You
jumped
see that
order.
back.
She had two parents growing up, a stable family life, just not happily married parents. So I've always had my sister, my rock. Never ever felt lonely as a child.
Yeah, it's like being a twin. Tell me what it's like being a twin.
I think it's like having your constant best friend there and someone that will never ever judge you and just listen to you wholeheartedly. And it's almost like a life jacket in life, I feel like.
Like the blankie. It's like how
Yeah.
little kids have a blankie when they're little.
Yeah, so I never had that.
Yeah.
I wasn't attached to pacifiers or specific toys, but I always had Belinda. And when I think back on it now for my son, who's an only child and suffers from anxiety and going to school, I realise I
Yeah.
can't really put myself in his shoes because I never had that.
Yes.
Um, on the odd times that one of us was sick, the other one would go to school, but we'd race home.
It'd be weird.
Well, it was strange, but it didn't happen a lot. But now I see my son who gets anxious and doesn't want to go to school. I'm like, "Oh, you didn't have the best friend like
Mm.
me." So in primary school, they tried to separate us because we were so close,
Yeah.
and they were worried about us socializing. So I think we spent the first year, foundational prep year, together, and then from then on, all our classes were split. So I was a bit sad,
Yeah.
but as soon as the bell went,
You'd find each
you just find each other. You know, you just couldn't hold us back. We had the same circle of friends. It's almost like we had similar interests. We found connections with the same sort of people.
like if
Yeah,
you're
we didn't. Yeah, yeah,
and you're identical.
absolutely.
Did you have stories where they couldn't tell you apart and so you used to play games?
Absolutely. So mum had a little badge for me with G on it and one for B for Belinda, so the teachers could tell us apart. And then when we were in primary school, one of us was much better at shot put than the other. One was better at high jump. So we just swap over and do the same thing twice, but just change our bib number. And they'd go, "Oh yeah, okay, Belinda's had her turn," when it's actually in fact me. Yes. But I remember playing football the first time with her in primary school. This is before women's AFL and stuff was a big thing. And we got so muddy and dirty. And for some reason, we went home on the bus and we used to walk home from school. We were quite close to the school. I don't know why we went home on the
Yeah.
bus. And I just remember looking at her and going, "Oh my God, that was just so much fun. We were so dirty." And I'm like, "I'm so glad we got to do that
Yeah, it's so
together.
much
It's so much fun."
the terrible
But it was always, did you get the good teacher? Like one of us
mm,
always sort of lucked out and went, "Oh, I wanted this teacher." So then when we got to high school, where we could pick our electives and
yeah.
subjects, and obviously we're in the same homeroom together because our surname was the same. We chose all the same subjects, and it was like, "You're not splitting us up this time."
Right.
And then I
So
think
your interests were the same, like
interests were the same, and I think throughout our high school life, our scores were always, like, within 1 point of each other or, like, we'd always challenge each other and push each other. We were pretty on point academically too, the same, yeah.
mm. Yeah, I
So,
love that. Do you think it like what were your differences? Maybe emotionally wise or
I always feel like my sister's always been much more, um, emotionally mature than myself. I am much more emotional. I don't know if that's because she's seen you longer than
no.
I've seen you now. So obviously Belinda connected us to you,
Yeah.
and I don't know, I don't know whether she just, it's almost like she just got it and she just understood it. I'm like, "You're so much more
Really
emotionally."
hard. Like seeing the big picture that she would be like, well, this is why people do this, or we don't have to be so riled up about this.
Yes.
And you were more the justice
I'm just,
seeker.
oh,
Mm.
absolutely. So, yeah, it was very, very, very interesting.
So it's like she could almost lead you into trouble, but you would fight your way out.
Yes,
You'd be the one that fought your way out.
absolutely, absolutely. But she still also allowed me to be me. I would fight a lot more with my dad than
Yeah.
she would, and things would irritate me a lot more about my dad, and I just couldn't drop it and I couldn't let it go. I'd have to answer back or have a response or whatever. Whereas Belinda could just listen to it and take it on board. And whereas I would be like, that, I'm not accepting that. I'd have to, have my voice. I want to change. Never came. Because my parents are in that generation where it's just old fashioned and kids don't talk back to their parents.
Yeah. So when you were little, what was it like?
So I talk back to my dad a lot.
Why?
I never liked the way he treated my mum. I always thought she deserved better.
You're using your voice in that space because you're really fighting for your mum.
Fighting for mum, yeah. I always felt like I was mum's voice, whereas mum didn't necessarily want that from me. She wanted to keep the peace. My mum
Yeah.
was a peacekeeper, and the more that I get riled up, mum could just let it go and let it slide, whereas I didn't like hearing some of the comments and the remarks that my dad made.
Do you think when your mum let it go, because she's a peacekeeper, it's like there's a difference between letting it go and being able to let the other person have the difference of opinion,
Yeah.
or you let it go because you don't want to deal with the conflict.
I think it was definitely the conflict way. It wasn't
Yeah. It's
it wasn't letting it
avoidance.
go because I accept the way it was like, if I just accept it as it is, there'll be no further. That's it.
So
I'm
when we
ending.
talk about that confronting conflict that I recorded a
Yeah.
workshop on, and one of the outcomes of that is going, some people with conflict absolutely shut that down by being agreeable
Yes.
and silencing themselves and not having an opinion and just letting it be that way. And other people deal with conflict by, and that could be potentially data, correct me if I'm wrong,
Yeah.
but we get more dominating and more aggressive, and this is
Yes.
just the way it is, and it stops conflict that way. So when you
Yes.
have two people that match those personality traits, there's one that they're always just going to be their way type
Yes.
thing. And
Yeah.
so we avoid conflict. And it's not necessarily a bully, but it's bullying tendency.
Yes. Yes. Absolutely.
So when you see that as someone that's like you are a justice fighter, that's probably
Yes.
what I would call you from knowing you
Yeah.
in the world. You're not necessarily even fighting for your own personal justice. It's just things should be right. And if
Yes.
they're wrong, so you being born into that family that way, that's kind of the role that you took in, that you
Yeah.
played. That's a real part
And
of
it
your
was
story.
interesting because as time now, obviously, I'm much older and my father has since passed. I think I can look back on it and have a little bit more empathy, sympathy to his point of view when I hear what family he came from. So I've heard that he came from a military family and it was quite tough. And I think he's probably just trying to bring us up how he was brought up because he doesn't know anything different.
And this is the beautiful thing when we start to try to understand ourselves, we need to actually understand the people that brought us up as well,
Yeah,
because otherwise we just get stuck.
yeah,
Whereas when you pull that thread back further and you see that a military family is all about rules.
yeah,
And
control.
right,
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah,
and so that I'm just going to bring something that I know interesting about your dad. He had diabetes.
yes,
So from a spiritual perspective, when we look at the correlation between emotions and illness, diabetes is all about being controlled or feeling
yeah,
controlled or about control.
yeah,
So for him, he came from that feeling of being controlled so much in a military
yeah,
family that you don't have much wiggle room when you have parents that are in there. His dad potentially, and again, we're
yes,
theorizing,
yeah,
had the same similar role in his life where there was no wiggle room.
yeah,
And so then he absolutely just repeated that pattern because you were born in 1975, so there was not much liberation. Women
yeah,
often had to give up work when they got pregnant, and there was not big careers for women in those days. Your
yeah,
career was looking after your family.
yes,
So again, that hierarchy keeps you here when you may not even have the confidence to know how to be in your family to make it everyone's heard and listened to, so you just do it the same way.
yeah,
So we evolved back then very slowly because we just repeated the cycles
absolutely. Yeah,
and didn't talk about things and wow. So yeah, diabetes for him is huge
yeah.
because it's so reflective of what was happening in
And
his life.
obviously, I've inherited that lovely gene.
Yes, it's
And I do know that I have control issues. I do have these where I have to feel like I'm in control.
yes, because if we're not in control,
Control
yeah, the anxiety,
the
control.
anxiety of what's going to happen, all the rest of it. It's interesting. I think my mum's in a different space now. Mum doesn't make decisions now that will make her happy without the worry of how is that going to be met.
The ramifications.
That there's no I don't have to answer to anyone anymore, and it's like she's almost been liberated
Right.
when my dad passed. My sister and I, obviously, we were a lot different. I didn't wanna go to my dad's funeral,
Yeah, wow. So it had got to the point that you and him weren't seeing eye to eye.
I at all, and so we're living under the same roof, but not talking at all. I'd rather not talk to him than
How
it's
did it
just
get to that point? Like, what were you so annoyed of?
I think it was finding out, I say a secret of mum's, where my dad thought it was his right to have relations with my mum, no matter how she was feeling, without consent. And then eventually we noticed a shift and mum was sleeping on the couch. And mum just took herself out of the bedroom, I suppose, to a more neutral situation where she probably felt safer. And I just like was flabbergasted that he would think that way. And I didn't know that. Belinda knew that before I did, and
Yeah.
she didn't wanna tell me because I'm the reactive one. Yeah,
Yeah.
and very much Belinda's like I think she probably went into more of a support role for mum, whereas now I'm going into I'm gonna defend mum and
Yeah.
angry and, like, I'm just gonna have a go at him whenever I hear him
Well,
I'm gonna
when
speak up and say, "That's not right. That's not okay."
because you look at the situation and you go to the what caused it,
Yeah.
and the what caused it is his choice.
Yes.
And so that's where you go, I'm going to problem solve that.
Yeah.
Whereas potentially Belinda goes to the big picture,
Yeah.
perhaps, which is in the 1970s. This was part of the stories in people's inverted common happy marriage. This was
Yeah.
the exchange of what you got because marriage is the exchange to being safe, so to speak. And then you had to keep your husband or you had to
Yeah.
make sure your family unit stays.
That was very old-fashioned. She made
You
it clear because
sacrifice.
I actually asked her once, I said to her, "I always wish that I was a child of divorce."
Mm.
And I know that most kids out there go, "Oh, no, I'd want my parents to be together
All costs, no matter.
at all costs." Whereas I felt the shift in the house, and I didn't like living like that. I'm like, I'd rather be in a safe house or have a relationship with
Yeah.
them under 2 different roofs, but under one roof, this is not working because I can feel the tension, I can feel the angst, I can feel the
It's a
just the
lie.
way.
It's a
Yeah,
lie.
yeah,
You're
it
living in a
was. It
lie.
was like living in a lie, and I didn't want that. I always wanted my parents to divorce.
Yeah.
But my mum was old-fashioned, and the rule said was till death do you part. And when I said to her, like, I'd always like, "Why would you accept that?" Because 'Cause I'm very much.
Well, your justice. It's like,
Yes,
so you fight for the truth. And then
absolutely.
when you're living in a lie, it's the opposite of the truth.
Yeah.
Did you get to a point where you were mad at your mum because your mum stayed at any stage?
I think so. Like, I was mad at mum because mum would always be, like, trying to trying to suppress my
Yeah.
reaction.
Yeah. Because it's
So
keeping the peace
so I
in.
always felt like, "Mum, you're not hearing me, or you're not letting me have my voice." I mean, sometimes it got petty to
Yeah.
things like scraping the dish. My dad would scrape the dish at the end of a meal like it was his last meal, and it was like he had to get every single crumb off the plate.
Yeah.
And it would just get to the point where I couldn't sit down to dinner with him because that noise would just irritate me. And it wasn't when
It's
you
not
say it's not got nothing to do with
correct.
that. It was just that I was constantly irritated because I didn't.
That's such a
And
beautiful example.
I was a bit fearful of my dad, to be honest, because when I did something wrong, mum would do the old-fashioned schooling, "Your dad will be home soon." And I'd go, "Okay."
So she pedestaled him,
Yeah.
expecting you to pedestal him.
Yes, and I would just go and hide sometimes out in the garden
Yeah.
because I'm like, "Oh my gosh, he's going to hit." Because it was back
Yeah.
in the times when children were hit.
Yeah.
Um,
Wait till your father gets home.
yeah, yeah, and I really do see that shifting now. My mum still says things like, "Oh, that's disappointing," and I look at it and go, "That's symptomatic of something else that's going on. It's a bit bigger than that," and, like, I won't
Yeah.
name that feeling
Yeah.
because it's like you can't have feelings.
Wow.
Yeah.
But it's like with you scraping the plate and being annoyed. You weren't annoyed with him scraping the plate. You were annoyed with the thousands of
The
other
other thing.
things that just built up to you could react to the scraping,
Yeah,
which is what happens with
and I think
so many
that's the
situations.
expectation. They obviously went into the old traditional gender roles. Mum was the housekeeper, the cook, and it'd be like, "My dinner's not on the table," type thing, and I'm like, "You're not useless.
Yeah.
Get up and get it." She's done all the cooking, but it's like that's her job. There was no teamwork in anything. There was no, um, I'll help chop up the vegetables," or "I'll do the dishes if you cooked."
Yeah, it
Was
was very
very
specific
specific
environment.
roles.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I think I was just like, not having this. Family is about working together to support each other, whatever that may look like. And yes, mum would always say to me, "Your father's a great provider." And he worked hard. He
Yeah.
worked 7 days a week. Some days we didn't even see him. But when I reflect on it now, I think I would have liked a dad a bit more in my life where we actually got to know the person. I didn't. I got to know this provider that came home exhausted, went
Yeah.
to bed, woke up, was gone before I was awake,
Yeah.
and hardly ever saw him.
So the role of being that a traditional father figure does in someone's life is making
Mhm.
you feel safe
Yeah,
and making you feel protected and making you feel, or helping you to feel, not making you
yeah,
looked after. But these are the traditional feelings that masculine energy gives us in life. And the father energy is that real safe, loved, looked after, protected,
yes,
all of those for us to be able to then be free
yeah,
to explore life and not be scared of it. And obviously providing is part of that, but it's just one little part of that.
yeah,
And so your dad did this corner,
yeah,
but for you, the rest of the safe, protected, and looked after, you probably got from your sister
yeah.
to
Oh,
explore life.
definitely. Yeah, it was like she's always like my life jacket or my wing person, always there. So I've realized this year. Still new. So it was obviously February when she passed, so it's been ten months now, I think. So, um, I know I talk to her all the time, like she's there. Um, and I feel like if I talk to her, she's still living. I will not talk about her because I feel like if I have a day where I don't mention her name, I almost feel like I'm doing her a disservice
Yeah.
or, "No, I still love you. I haven't forgotten you, sis.
Yeah,
You
you're
know,
still my life
you're still
jacket.
my life. Yeah,
Yes,
you're still my life jacket. I've just gotta realize you're watching me and guiding me from a different perspective."
yeah, which
Yeah,
is the shift.
yeah, absolutely.
Tell me about that journey with her. I think I'm going to backtrack,
Sure.
not to miss that, but I want to touch on this point because it's really important in your story to then move us into your story with Belinda, particularly after you both got married and all that, or she got married
Yes.
and all of that. Remember a session with you talking about your mum, and there was a frustration with your mum because why would she have stayed? Why did she
Yeah,
get put up with how your dad treated her?
yeah,
And I remember explaining to you the way that we evolve the generational line or even consciously on earth is that the next person comes along, the next child comes along
yes.
with all of this beautiful information to pull the line into a new way to think.
Yeah, yeah,
So the line that you just mentioned earlier about we're meant to make teams in families, that
yeah,
we help each other and we look after each other and we question each other and we grow together, understand why people do what they do and all of the things that, we really aspire to. When you look at your mum and there was a part of you that was reflective going, I can't believe why she doesn't want to be part of that. And when we explain that her moving to the couch is the
yes,
biggest shift that you could do in the 1970s for her.
yes,
So for her, it's like her 100% of helping that you can have a voice, have a boundary, change something, stand up for yourself, do all that was literally so symbolic, so little that
yeah,
she moved from the bedroom to the couch, gave you permission to want more, to
yeah,
pursue more in your life
yes,
and for Belinda to do the same
yes,
in the way that it's like, yeah, we don't have to just put up with this. We don't want this. We want more for us.
yeah, yeah,
And so it softened that being angry at
yeah,
someone because we all look at life thinking, well, you should know this. You should
yes,
be able to do this.
yeah,
And yet, when we pulled her story apart a little bit and came back to seeing where she came from, her sleeping on the couch was like a miracle,
yeah.
actually, in so many ways that you're like, can't believe that she was strong
Strong
enough
enough, yeah,
to be able to do that.
yeah,
So it softens our perspective. And I really wanted to bring that in because then in looking at the journey that you've had with Belinda, particularly while she was so unwell, and even in later years of growing up and you both having children and things like that, it's seeing that bigger picture that has helped us be able to make
yes,
sense of the things that are just unsensible. Is that a
yes,
word?
absolutely. Yeah, for sure. I feel like I had this ideal, like I was gonna have the Hallmark family,
Yeah.
and I think I thought other families had that. But when you look deeper, there are so many more issues at play. I would just be like, I don't think we wouldn't have many friends over to our place. We would either meet the neighborhood kids outside or go to
Mm.
other people's houses because it was an awkward situation. You could just you could cut the air with a knife,
Mm.
so to speak.
It was dutiful rather than caring.
Yeah. Everyone's like, "Oh, I remember your mum. Your mum is just the nicest, caring person." And then they'll go, "I remember your dad. Like he was scary. He just sat in his chair and didn't do much, didn't say much, didn't interact with you." Then I'd go to someone else's house and go, "This dad's full on
A fun dad. Yeah.
helping with the party, doing all this." And I'd just go, "Oh," and it sort of opened my eyes up to things. And I think more so when I was a teenager that I went, this isn't how every family
Yeah.
operates. I thought it
Yeah.
was just our family was like this.
Yeah.
And I used to be, I don't like my dad. I don't. I would always say I hate my dad. Think
You do know.
as I've gone, yes,
Yeah.
and as I've gone through life, especially with your guidance, I think I've realised there's just bigger things at
Mhm.
play that I haven't taken on board and haven't realised that life wasn't that great for him.
Yeah.
You know, he didn't have a great life. And I'm grateful for what you did give me. You gave
Yeah.
me the ability to have a voice and accept and value myself
Who
and
let you
say,
fight with him.
yeah,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
say, you deserve better. Someone deserves better. It's okay to say, "I value myself enough to expect more." That you don't have to settle.
I think that being connected is so important to you, and it potentially came from not being connected to him. You have someone in your life that is a player, and it's a non-viable player. Like,
Yeah.
he was just there,
Yes.
but he didn't actually make that caring impact in your life. In fact, it was, "What's the point of you being here?" type
Yeah.
thing. Whereas,
Yeah.
again, he let you fight with him and all that. It's like when we rearrange it, we're like, "Oh, I see you not doing things made
Yeah.
me be able to do things."
Exactly.
Yeah, but being
Exactly.
connected, you're almost like, "I can't get into you," and
Yeah.
he's coming from the stoic rules of a military background, you can't get in.
Yeah.
There's no empathy, there's no emotion. Whereas for you, you're like, you connect by emotion.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
looking at your background, it's again, Belinda and you became that not just safe, protected, looked after kind of dad energy, but the true connection energy. And then when we come back to, because you're twins, you have that little extra sixth sense, your connection energy is real. Like,
Yeah.
it's based on, like with your mum, it was real because she's caring for you, because she's doing the 1970 rules. And don't get me wrong, absolutely loves you,
Yeah.
but it's from that it's from I'm
Yes.
doing what I should do,
Yes.
whereas with your sister, it was from I know you, I
Yes.
see you, I understand you, I believe in
Absolutely.
you.
Yeah.
Wow, yeah, that makes so much sense. So this real connection is
So I don't know how many times, Mel, in while my dad was living, not so much now because he's just not in the picture. But I would get told, "Oh, you're just like your dad," and it was like a red flag to a bull. I'd be like, "I'm nothing like him," and then it's not now till I'm a bit old that I can see what people mean by that. So I would be so upset.
yes,
You're
like me.
I'm yeah, and I'm sitting there going, I'm not like that. I wouldn't treat someone like that. I don't know. Belinda would always get so much like the soft
And that's
energy,
the one that
whereas
you
on the
yeah.
hard, I would always say on the hard energy. And I do get to a point where I think I failed to breathe. And sometimes I fail to take that time to sit and reflect and hold my thoughts for a minute before I respond. And sometimes I do it out of emotion and I do it out of frustration and I'm tired or whatever. And I go, I've got to now sit back and go, oh, but in saying that, I go, I've learnt so many lessons along the way. I've gone, oh, do you know what? I could have done that better. So next time, hopefully, if that lesson presents itself again,
Yeah.
I'll handle it differently.
Yeah. When you
Yeah.
were right, speaking, I wrote reactive to the small picture.
Yeah.
So instead of being able to hold the big picture, it's the small picture because you're the little justice fighter.
Yeah.
You're reactive in the small picture. So you could fight someone else's battles
Yeah.
or have a
Oh,
voice for someone
absolutely.
else, get involved in things that exhaust you, whereas you realize in the end, it's not actually my battle. Or you do things for other people and you bust your ass for them, but then no one's
Yeah.
grateful. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, you get pulled into things that take you on a different journey,
Yes.
but you get pulled out of your own space and your own
Yes.
life,
Absolutely.
fighting for other
Yeah.
people.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh,
makes sense.
yeah,
That
it's
makes
been,
sense.
yeah.
Let's go back. Let's do the stories. You got older.
So, yes, we obviously got older. Um, I don't know how deep you want me to go
You can do
into.
whatever you
Um,
because it's about understanding you.
I think for Belinda, there was a shift in our relationship probably about the time Belinda got her first boyfriend.
Mhm.
And his name was Paul. And he would come to the house and see her. And then I'd find myself spending more and more time with him, and I'd say to her, "Oh, I don't like him. He's opinionated. It's all the things that I don't like. He thinks this way, I think that way, da da da." And we'd just butt heads. But I like someone that challenges me. I like someone that doesn't go, agree. I agree with that. I don't want that people I find. I've been seeking that all my life. I don't want the people pleaser. I
Yeah.
want you to tell me I will respect you. I will love you a lot more if you give me the honest truth.
Yeah.
And just give me the honest truth.
Yeah.
Honesty. So she'd been seeing him from probably about 6 months, and then he said to me, I think I've worked out that I'm coming over more often now to see you than I am your sister. So at that stage, my sister was battling a bit of depression, so she would go to bed early, and I'm like, "She's left her guest in thing," so it gave us an opportunity
Good time.
to talk, but it wasn't just exchanging information. He would challenge me, political views and everything. I would say, "But what about this? How do you think this?" And I loved
Yes.
the mental game with
Yeah.
him. I'm like, "Okay, I love the fact that you see life differently
Yeah.
to I do." And I always said to my sister, "He's arrogant, da da da, don't like him." Then he said after 6 months, "I think I'm coming to see you. I'm gonna break it off with your sister. I'd like to see you."
Can I add something just quick?
Sure.
Just for interest,
Yeah.
because it helps you understand it as you go. When we go back to what we were talking about before, the things that are so your beautiful core values that you need is to feel safe, protected, looked after, that masculine energy is by someone being not agreeable because they're
Yes.
not antsy pantsy. They're just, I'm strong and I'm bringing a opinion and I'm
Yeah.
owning my story and I'm owning what I
Yeah.
think. That's the feeling, safe, protected, and looked after. And then a real connection.
Absolutely.
So for you, that's like a magnet, It's everything that you've been looking at that you were getting from her. And if she'd shifted because obviously you got older and she's got a new partner and all of that stuff, this magnet gets stronger
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
and these we talk about magnets, soul magnets. We consciously have a choice that we don't want to do stuff, but the magnet pulls us into an experience that our soul wants us to have, which is really hard to understand at that time. I'm going to give it back to you now, but
Yeah.
huge, right? When you look at this makes sense.
Yes. Well, this was our first big, what I would call life bomb, where
Mhm.
we ever didn't talk. Obviously, it upset my sister. I didn't know whether I wanted to pursue this relationship because I'm like, no,
Yeah, it's like this
if
is
you wrote it
completely
down on
different.
paper, I'd be going, no, I don't want him. He's too critical, too this, too. And then I'm like, no, I actually found that
Yeah.
refreshing. I actually go, yes, I like that. And I know I've had conversations with Ben in the past because it really hurt her.
Mhm.
Because I didn't take into consideration her feelings at all. I was just like, somebody thinks I'm better than my sister. So it was almost like I put myself on top of the ladder. I jumped the rungs on the ladder and I went,
Um,
I'm
I'm-
you're seeing me. Finally someone's
yeah.
seeing me. And so I said to my sister, it was such a selfish act because I went, he chose me. Whereas family,
Yeah.
you're given.
Two, and I'm gonna not to interrupt, but I think it's a valid point. When you said before that people associated you with like your dad energy,
Yeah.
but she was your mum energy, soft and gentle and kind and sweet. You always felt that people liked her more.
Yes.
And so for
Yes.
this, that was a
So I
big
think this
part
was
of
a big like, this
yeah.
is just I'm like, "This is my moment." The hurt it caused our family, we didn't talk for obviously, I went on to stay with him for 5 years, so it wasn't a fleeting relationship, but I think it wasn't just him that I fell in love with, I fell in love with his family.
Yeah.
The
It's like the
the
I call it the Disney family.
the Disney family,
The
thank
Hallmark
you, the
family.
Hallmark
Yeah.
family, Disney, they did.
You guys cared for each
The dad
other.
absolutely
Yeah.
loved me, and so I had this connection to his dad.
In the world.
His dad's like, I was much more outgoing at that stage.
Yeah.
Belinda was a lot more reserved, and I just talking to him, and then I fell in love. He loved gardening. I loved gardening.
Yeah.
So we just had this connection and we connected. So as soon as I met his
There's the
dad,
buzz.
I felt like I belonged to another family, but I now belong to the Disney family.
Which
Not,
is where you've always wanted to be.
yeah,
Safe, protected, connected, looked after, real, communicating, teamwork.
absolutely. And so for a long time, I was selfish and blinded by this person that just adored me
Mm.
and gone, oh, he chose me. Like the whole time, I'm like, he chose me.
Mm.
And I was like, oh, I, I look back on photos now and I can see when we're in the middle of that, Belinda's sadness and our loss of connection over that time. And I'm like, well, so our relationship obviously didn't work out.
Yeah, what happened?
I think I lost a close family member. I lost my nana, was the start of my spiraling because she was our what I call the glue of our family, the matriarch. And I'd never suffered loss. And I was deeply depressed when my nan died because I used to, she was quite a significant person in my life. We'd visit her after school. It wouldn't be once every holidays. It was all the time.
Dad's mum, mum's mum.
Mum's mum. So never knew my dad's parents. And that's what I now garnish from speaking to my mum. I know a bit more about my dad's history and
Yes,
his
who makes more sense
it
to you.
makes more sense. So I never had an opportunity to know them. They passed before we were born.
Do you think that your nan,
Yeah.
again, when we talk about that connections, saw you as just you?
Yeah.
So everyone else saw you as a twin, and you were
Yes.
almost like the outspoken twin, and Belinda was the soft, sweet twin.
I
So
always
people kept like you got into the group
Yes.
because you're Belinda's sister,
Yes.
and you got into people, you were meant to be in your family because you're Belinda's sister.
Yes.
Not
Yeah.
but a feeling for you as
Yes.
a kid, you're like the tag along.
Yes.
So when Paul picked you, you were chosen, but
Yes.
your nan also saw you as being
Yes.
just
Totally.
you.
And so when she went, I was devastated. So then I suffered a bit of depression, and Paul had never ever seen me unhappy or sad or never without a smile on my face. And things I didn't want to go to parties, I didn't want to go out
You
and
were
stuff like
actually
that.
just
I
grieving
was just grieving, but he's
without
like,
knowing how to support yourself
and
or
I
be
didn't know how
ask for it.
that would leave him at a party on his own. So he would be resentful because you've just one of the parties was actually his special birthday. I just couldn't go. So then he has to answer to a whole group of people, whereas Gayle.
But his confidence potentially came from you being in his life. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Was
Yes.
bright and bubbly and strong and all of that. So when people bring you, it's like you were his kind of life jacket.
And he was one that always did the speeches at weddings,
Mm.
always had that strong voice. And I'm like, oh, I was attracted to
Yeah.
that. I was
Which
attracted to, wow, he's so confident in himself. He knows himself, blah, blah, blah.
and
So
at the end of the day, didn't miss out.
at the end of
Yeah.
the day, he said to me, you've dug yourself a big hole. I'm not getting in that hole with you. And then I was like, I'm so let down because I need you
It's the
now.
opposite of this.
I need
They've protected yourself.
I need you
And
now more than ever. Now I
yeah,
feel abandoned.
yeah,
And I'm
not
like,
loved. You can't be you.
so, and I highly suspect he had somebody else that was then giving him that attention at that time. Um, and I thought, I reflect back on it and go, how could I do that to my sister? How could I have, her
Totally.
first love, chosen him over her?
Do you kind of get it when we pulled that
Yeah.
good feeling
And
too?
then in an interesting twist, Belinda was a babysitter for a friend who was seeing this person. That's the person she's now married to. So in effect, she met that person and took him away from that relationship.
Yes.
And I'm like, now you understand.
Yeah.
You were pursuing it too.
Got the same feeling,
Yes.
which is potentially like the safe protected connection, all of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it caused problems
Oh yeah.
obviously there. And I'm like, it was almost like deja vu.
Shut up.
So then we got back together because
Wow.
I think she realised, and obviously that's who she went on to have kids with.
Like the doorway though back.
Yes.
When that happened, that resentment or frustration or anger at you, they say, it's very true. If you go through an experience similar to someone else, we can then see it from a
Yeah.
different light, like all the angles.
Absolutely. And like with Belinda getting sick, so Belinda got her first cancer at 32-ish, around 32-ish, which was a blood cancer. And they told us, just happened to have random tests, checks, and it came up on an X-ray. And her doctor was very on top of everything. Turns out she had non-Hodgkin's lymphoma, which is a blood cancer. So she was getting treated for that. And we always grew up thinking we were fraternal twins. So mum was told that the sac had split maybe in childbirth. They can't tell when
And yet
after birth and all the
you
rest of it.
totally the
You
same.
look totally the same. And people, so we had genetic testing done because of the cancer, so I could be potentially a stem cell match. And it came back that we're 99.999% identical. And people would say, duh,
Yeah.
can't you see that? And I've gone, no, because when you grow up thinking that you're different, you see the differences, not the similarities.
Uh,
So when I look in the mirror, I see the differences. I see what other people see.
yeah,
I don't
I
think
get that.
yes.
It's like when people
So
say your kids look like you, you're like, "No, really?"
so then we found out we're identical, and I'm like, I am your perfect DNA match. I am going to be here. I can save you now. Like I have got
Right.
everything we
So
need.
that connection absolutely was wow, that
Yeah.
makes so
So I'm
much
like, I can connect. It's okay,
sense.
Ben. I can save you. And they go, oh, we just got one more treatment of radiotherapy first. If that doesn't work, then we will investigate stem cells. So Belinda went on to have the radiotherapy. Now, in hindsight, I wouldn't have wanted her to have the radiotherapy because that triggered her second cancer
Yep.
10 years later, which was actually the treatment for the first cancer that triggered this one. It's very rare. And I'm like, damn it, if she hadn't have done it, if we had have gone straight to stem cell, it's all the what ifs. What if we'd done this beforehand?
It's like almost going, "Well, would there have been a different timeline?"
Yeah, because the cancer she got was, if they say there's a better cancer to get, is one that people recover from usually and
Mm.
stay in remission for a long time. Once
Listening point.
not
Yeah.
the blood cancer. So we're like, she's done it.
Tick done, yeah.
Tick done. Then 5 years later, she had her checkup. Yep, clear in remission, considered in remission, and then got sick. And it's only because her bowel perforated. And that's because there was a tumor growing on her bowel. So she was rushed to hospital with pain. And that's when they discovered this second cancer, which is very rare from the treatment of the first cancer, from the radiotherapy. And then I'm like, I can't save her. There's no stem cell research. It's very like the science behind this one is still new so I'm like, no, I'll give her my stem cells. And they go, oh, we can't just do that.
Yeah,
Like
it's not
it's
actually the treatment.
and we haven't got those protocols up in place. This is how we treat it, which always makes me go, why are we treating it with the same thing that triggered her cancer? I don't understand how we're now going to give her more radiotherapy, more chemo when
Yeah.
that gave her the
Cancer in the
second
first place, yeah,
cancer. Yeah.
and her body didn't like it.
And her body didn't like it. I don't think it's until I realized that she could be taken away from me. I think I always just took her for granted that she would be by my side.
Yeah.
Now I'm just like, she said to me before she passed, who's going to look after you?
Yeah.
Because we were so good at looking after each other. And I said, it's my job. You've taught me that. It's my job to look after me. You can guide me, but I've got to make the changes. I've got to look deeper
Yeah.
into why I repeat these patterns, why I do these things, um, and be a better version of myself. Yeah, so she's probably been the sickest for the last 2 years. Yeah, with this, it's called an angiosarcoma for people interested. Uh,
It
and
took
it's
a
been
while for them to work it out.
they
Yeah.
misdiagnosed her originally, and the problem is because this type of cancer is a cellular cancer. It means your body is obviously made up of millions of cells that they can't operate, they can't open you up because if they open you up, it just spreads. So it's just like a ticking time bomb.
Yeah.
That's how it always just felt like.
Yes.
When
Yeah.
is she gonna succumb?
And when we talk about the control and the anxiety, there would be that underlying after we have that full sense of security after she's beaten the first cancer and then that you could help and all that kind of stuff. That awareness that this is totally different and there is no magic wand treatment.
Yes.
That control, anxiety, impending doom feeling would have been something that just kept creeping in and in and in and in for you.
Yeah.
And that's
And I think for a long time, it's really just hit me now. We're at the 10-month mark. I think I did really well after she passed. Sorry, I'm just gonna get a tissue. I think because I was still in that caring role, I still had things to do. I had
yes.
I had
Funerals to organize,
funerals to
people's
organise, the memorial to organise. I've had the key.
ashes.
I feel like I've almost wiped her from her house because I packed up her stuff. I've still got her clothes. That's the one thing I just can't. I think because she's worn them. They're still in my car. I carry them around with me. I think it's just now I haven't got that caring role anymore.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, what's next?
Well, it's going from being the twin and
How do I be me without the
Yeah.
we? Definitely,
Yeah.
definitely. Um, but we've talked about it. Uh, we left nothing unsaid.
Mhm.
Obviously, she's like, I don't hold any grudge on against you. And I'm going, me now probably wouldn't have done what I did back then and broken her heart.
Do you look back at that and with two ways? Like one way would be if I knew what I knew now, which is the statement we all say, I would potentially make different choices. However, knowing that that absolute knowing connection
Yes,
came about after you both
yes,
went through that
yeah,
in the way that when you reunited, you were not going to be disconnected again.
yes,
So even when she got married and had kids, there were three of you in
yes,
so many ways. It's like when you marry me, you marry
yes,
her as my other person that is going to help me
yes,
be in the family, raise the kids. It's when I have conversations, I'm actually going to check with my twin before I check with my partner because
yeah,
it's just the truth of what I do.
yeah,
And it wasn't whether people have opinions on that or not. We're not talking about healthy or not healthy. It just was.
yes,
It was never going to be a different way because it we all have to check in to hear ourselves, and it's almost like because you 2 knew each other so well, you could check in to hear yourself by speaking to the other person,
yes,
and you recognize each other's differences. And so she would say to you, "You're being judgmental, or you're overthinking, or you're overgiving, and you need to put a
yes,
boundary in." And you would say to her, like, "You're being too considerate, you're letting people walk all over you,
yes,
you can't keep
absolutely,
giving."
yes,
And so you really just pulled each other back into being authentic without
yes,
losing yourself.
yes.
And I think that's such a beautiful, it's why.
I always feel like, Mel, because obviously we would communicate 3, 4 times a day.
Yeah.
Like, it was not unusual for us to her husband would say, "But you spoke to her earlier, why are you on the phone?"
Again.
And it was quite almost a jealousy thing. "You've had enough of her, give her back to me." But even I almost feel like we've had double the benefit of you because I would say to her, "Oh, how did you go with Mel's? What what did she say? What did she learn?" Like, and I'll go, and even that, so I've almost had
Yeah, double
double
session.
session. I learned from Binny, and then I'll say to Binny, she'll go, "Oh, yeah, that makes sense." Sometimes we can't pinpoint it, but you put it out there and you go, "You're so good at,"
The best.
yes,
Yeah.
giving the perspective and going, "Okay,"
Yeah.
like, always feel like I can breathe when I leave here.
Yeah.
I always feel like I hold my breath all the time. It's always like, I don't know what's coming next.
And then it's making sense in that to go, one, I don't have to know. I know I'm just going to be okay. I
Yeah,
mean, whereas
yes,
when we are trying to control it, we have that trepidation of what's going to happen in life.
yes, yeah,
Think, in the midst of all this, you had a son.
and I feel like that's the gift that Belinda gave me.
Well, it's kinda the universe, it's like the big picture story to keep.
My sister has 2 beautiful children who are now teenagers and was married and had the fairy tale wedding and all the rest of it, and I would approach after I my relationship ended with Paul, I was like, "I'm off men. That's it, just I'm better off
I'm
on
not
my
doing
own. I'm just make my own decisions and be in charge of myself." But in saying that, I wanted to be more. I wanted to be a mother more than anything, and I would get quite up depressed as my age went on and that I haven't met anyone. And if I was in a relationship with someone for 5 years and it didn't work out, I haven't got 5 more years to give to somebody else before they
well,
turn around and say, "Would you like to have a baby?" And I'm not about to have a baby with them after 6 months because I don't know them. I thought I knew my last partner,
yeah.
but obviously didn't know him well enough. I thought he would be the support, be the
Mhm.
person I needed. And it wasn't until I had changed that I realized he doesn't like that version of me.
Yeah, yeah.
He's not going to be there. So my sister encouraged me to have IVF, and she said, "Take matters into your own hands." And Belinda was always a much like, just do it, just take, why not? No, and I hadn't even considered it. I honestly, had never heard of anyone that had done it in my circles, and I had so next thing you know, I'm at a fertility doctor checking how many eggs I have left before I've dried up, and it was just bang, 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 go, 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 went like this. And then all of a sudden, I had one transfer and it worked. And I'm like, "This is such a
Like, oh
blessing."
my God, I'm having a baby.
How many people well, I would have loved to have adopted because I feel like there's so many kids out there that need and deserve a beautiful childhood, but it is so hard in Australia
So
it is so hard, and especially as a single person. So I didn't even know IVF was an option for me until the day we had to pick our sperm, the sperm donor, Belinda says to me, "Come on, Gail, get a move on." I said to her, I can't get a move on because it's not like picking a pizza. There's a lot more." She goes, "If you went to a pub and you had a one night stand, more about this person than you
yes,
that person." And then I've gone, oh, all of a sudden I
yeah,
just went,
flip a
oh,
coin.
stop. Yes, you are overthinking this. You are doing it too much. She went, oh, and I went, let's see the reason why he donated. And he wanted to give back. He had friends that couldn't have family and he saw the struggles that they went through. And I thought, oh,
Fair enough.
what a nice
Yeah.
caring man. Most of the other donors were medical students that think their DNA is the ant's pants and should be out there for the world. I'm like, I don't want that. I want this guy
Yeah.
to
Yeah.
care.
Love. Yeah.
So we picked him and went bang, 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 and next thing I've got, Joel after, 1 round. So
And the name, tell us because this is
uh,
significant.
yeah. So I'd be, like, questioning what I'm doing all the time. Am I doing the right thing? Am I denying him of a father? Am I doing this? So I'd be going down to Monash IVF and I'd be driving and I'd be going, am I doing the right thing? And then one day a song came on the radio as I'm heading down to the clinic. And I'm, like, trying to decide whether I like it or not, so I'm listening for the artist, and at the end of it, they go, "Oh, that's Joel Fletcher." So I Google who he is, and I think he's a New Zealand artist, and I've gone, "Oh, okay." And then the next week, I go down, and again, I'm questioning myself going, oh, because 'cause you're going down
Yeah.
nearly every week and having your regular injections and things. A truck went past with Joel on it, and I said, "Oh, so the universe is telling me I'm gonna have a boy."
Yeah.
I'm gonna have a boy and I'm gonna name him Joel Fletcher. Oh, my sister was convinced I was gonna have a girl. She goes, "You'll have a little girl." I
Mhm.
said, "No, the universe has already shown me I'm gonna have a boy." Um, so even at the hospital, I didn't find out what I was having. I wanted it to be a surprise. Even at the hospital, I was taken in for an emergency cesarean, so my sister couldn't be there. When they came up and told her, she's like, "It was a girl, isn't it?" And they went, "No." She went, "Oh, okay, okay." So Joel has the middle name Aiden
Yeah.
because my sister's son is Hayden, and I
Okay.
thought that's part of he'll be one of the males that he'll be in his life. And my brother's name is Dean, and I thought he would take a big role in Joel's upbringing as well. So I spelt it Aiden, Aden, which is Dean's initials,
Yeah, that's so
switched
good.
around,
Yeah.
and it's Hayden's the last sounding of his name. So it's sort of a bit of a
Yes.
to
Connection.
both of
Yeah.
to the
Beautiful
males
memories.
in my life. Yeah.
And I love that story too because without realizing it's that real precursor to there's more in this world than just what
Yes.
we see on earth.
Yes.
And so it's like that connection that you had with Joel before he was here saying, I want my name to be this.
Yes.
And so when we are able to look at that big picture, and now when Belinda's passed, it's easier to hold the space that
Yeah.
you're not gone, you're just transformed or shifted.
Yes.
And so we can hear easier what they want to say or be guided or directed or get the gifts or the presents or the symbols or the things. And as you and I both know, it doesn't fix it, but it perhaps
Oh, it
eases.
does. It is huge
Yeah.
easing of it. Yeah. I'm so grateful to my sister because I look back now and I go, I feel like she was giving me my purpose in life. I
Mm.
always as much as I'd love to have adopted a kid, and if I had the money and the
Yeah.
bureaucratic
Wasn't it?
paperwork
Yeah.
wasn't all there, I still wanted to feel what it felt like to be pregnant
Yeah.
because I did pick Belinda's kids. Like, I go, "You're gonna have a boy and then a girl." and she did. But, I just like I really want to experience that. I really want to know what that
Yeah.
feels like. So I feel like now he's given me the reason to keep living
Yeah.
because I feel like there's times when I've been so down and in
It's
debt, and
disillusion.
I miss that
Right.
my sister. It's like missing a right arm, all of a sudden you've got to relearn how to pick up a spoon.
Yeah, it's like grief to me, it feels like it rips you in two.
Yeah. So I feel like because I've got Joel to concentrate on, I don't have time because there was a time in my life where I did try to commit suicide. And I feel like I could have got back to that place, especially with losing Binny, but I can't now
Yeah.
because I can't make a decision like that again because I've got somebody relying on me that doesn't have a dad in his life, has an aging nana, doesn't have anyone. My sister
You're
was my
it.
backup plan.
Yeah.
Belinda was always my backup plan in my will. If things went wrong on emergency contacts, I'm like, oh my goodness, who's going to be my emergency contact now? And now I've got a reason to keep going and I've got a reason to see life through a different lens
Yeah.
and see the enjoyment that
Yeah, it's fine. Didn't worry.
finding
Yeah.
joy in the life. Yeah, I think I've worked out. I don't know who I am if I'm not in a caring role. I have been looking after my neighbour for quite some time who's got dementia. And it was ironic. I went to the doctors this week and I haven't been taking my medication correctly. And I was talking to her about the anxiety I have about finding my neighbour on the floor one day,
Mhm.
that he's not going to be all right if I cut contact because I had juggling too many balls. And he does have a daughter and I need to step back and let her
Slipping.
step in. And then I'm like, "Oh, I can't. I have to get his medication." She goes, "It's ironic. You can look after somebody
Yeah.
else's medication, but you can't look after your own." And I said, "Yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
I am."
And this is that beautiful legacy. It's like I always, when someone that we care about so deeply goes, for me, it's like, what's my takeaway in there?
Yes.
How am I going to treat myself differently? How am I different from them being in my life?
Yeah.
And it's that shift for you to go, do you know what? I have to matter.
Yeah.
You have to matter now for you because
Yes.
she mattered so much for you and you care for everyone else so much. And it's being able to step you into that same league of how you care about yourself is the same way that you care about other people. And we don't wake up and get there.
Yeah.
It's a stepping stone
Absolutely.
process to know, how did I go today? What did I do? And it's a real commitment to go, yes, I'm going to take my medication because as much as there's a part of me that wants to just disappear and the world
Yeah.
open up and me not be here because it's so painful when I'm in grief, is the same opposite, part of us that is like, I have to actually make sure that I'm ticking all the boxes in the self care
Yes.
to make sure that the people that depend on me are going to be okay.
Yes.
And it's a fine
Yeah.
line on.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
I think for me, the thing that has helped me with that is knowing there's more. How do I word that? It's like, that in the work that we've done and in the connection that you have with her, that you will see her again.
Yes.
So when we talk about, the fact we're all going to die, at some stage before we lose someone that we care about so much, that's terrifying. But when you have someone that you want to see again,
Yes.
you become well, I can do this until I see them.
Yeah.
And death becomes less scary.
Yeah, I totally agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and so you're like, "Well, in the meantime, before I get to that," which could be from now to 40 years' time or whatever that timeline is for anyone, we then get to go, "I'm gonna try and be the best version of me, and
Yes.
I'm gonna look at what they taught me, and I'm gonna try and bring in what I'm gonna be. I'm a different person
Yes.
and forever changed when they went because of how much I love
Yeah.
them. So I'm now gonna honor that."
Absolutely.
And that's how I try and pull it all together to just take the medication or to
Yeah.
do the self-care
Yeah.
on the better days.
Yes, for sure.
Yeah, it's a lot.
I feel blessed because I still get to see Belinda's kids. And to me, part of her lives on in them. So even when I see them, there's comfort in that for me.
Yeah.
I know it's hard the other way around. I know it's hard for her husband to see me because we look alike, we sound alike. I understand the grief of it's almost like she's here, but she's not here. It's a different version of her. And we are very different personality wise, but I'm very thankful. Her daughter wrote a beautiful piece for school and we read it, and it was like you could see Belinda had touched a mark. It was almost like Belinda was writing. Belinda was a very good wordsmith and putting letters together and everything like that. And now I see Abby has got the same abilities, and it's just like, wow, I love that. So in a way, I'm lucky. Like, I do still feel lucky. I feel her here every day.
And that's a beautiful, not surprise, but it's a awareness that you're like, wow. It's like, for me, I think that we are date stamped. And as much as we don't want people to die, this is our earth table. When you talk about
Yes.
it's not fair and it's not okay. And I absolutely will always hold that, especially when you lose your sister at such a young age and the kids lose their mum.
Yeah.
But when we look at the impact of someone dying and how it does change people's lives, that is an incredible thing to witness if we can hold the space for
Yes.
that,
Yeah.
because we're forever changed and they're forever changed. And when you see it, it's like the person that you become when you have a different awareness of living without a mum. It's like, when we were saying to you before, it's like the safe, protected, looked after that you so wanted when you were little. Even though you had a dad, you didn't have it anyway. So in ways we grieve for it until we find it, and then we learn that you're the one that's going to give that to yourself.
Yes.
And when we live
Yeah.
from that space, and the control and anxiety is that part of going, I can't control life. Like
Yes.
when someone dies, we literally give up trying to control anything and we just adjust in the moment because, particularly at the start, we just don't care.
Yeah.
And then because we realize there's no point trying to control it anyway, I'm just
Yeah.
going to deal with what happens in the moment and know that we can get through it
Yeah.
because we get through hard things. God, we get
Yes.
through some horrendously hard
Yeah.
things, but we do.
Yeah.
So for me, it's, when you're saying about her beautiful daughter and kids, and when you look at her friends and we look at all the people, we live differently now.
Yes.
We all live a little bit adjusted or changed or hug our kids better or
Absolutely.
connect with people more or want realer, truer friendships and relationships. And there's a real beautiful honor in seeing someone's life
Yeah.
that way.
It has made me relook at friends and what those friendships were bringing to me. I have adjusted my group, if you like. It's almost like that's no longer serving me. It's
Well,
time.
the beautiful thing you were
Yeah.
saying before with making the team that care for each other,
Yeah.
which is what a family should be.
Yeah.
And you look at that now and you're like, hey, my friendships have moved to that.
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah, that's so special.
It's really, yeah.
I remember speaking to her a lot about coming to terms with, and sometimes saying it's easier. This sounds weird, but it's easier for the person who's making peace with going,
Yes.
but the guilt of feeling what's going to happen to the people I
Exactly.
care about.
Yeah.
But for her, it's knowing that everything that she did set people up to be able to succeed in what they were learning and what they
Yes.
wanted. And
Yes.
it's her having the joy and the peace to be able to know that in a comforting way,
Yes.
that you kind of give yourself permission to honor your story and your journey, and it frees you
Yes.
without that guilt to
Yeah.
go. That
Yeah.
was a beautiful part of working with her
Yeah.
because there's a knowing that, yes, I'm always going to be that. It's like
Yeah.
you have that, you can't not love someone that much and that disconnect. But there was a piece in her knowing that, well, I get to now in fact, at
Yes.
her story, no, at her celebration of life, which was such a beautiful thing to do. So instead of a funeral,
Well,
she did a celebration of life, months before she died, where she was well enough to just love everyone up and talk to
yeah.
people. But she had little Ouija boards, key rings. I found it the other day.
Yeah,
So
I've
good.
still got some.
And it said, if you want to connect with me, use this. And
Yes.
it's the keyring Ouija board. And I was like, that was her. She
That's
was, yeah,
absolutely,
it was just
yeah.
hilarious.
Yeah.
And it is so beautiful because it was that stamp of, I'm not going anywhere,
Yeah.
but I'm different. And I think it's a real beautiful story for you because moving from being a twin, it's not just losing your sister, it's losing, as you said, the person that made you feel safe in the
Yeah.
world.
Yeah.
And to keep being able to come back to try to make things make sense, support yourself. You are such a beautiful carer and giver, and then you give to everyone else. And seeing you have to absolutely tuck yourself in
Yeah.
or absolutely learn that, God, I have to be part of the people I care for, and I have to say,
Yes.
what do I need? How do I give myself
That
this day?
yes. Yeah, for sure.
Been something that you are working on, and I've seen that
It's better.
it's
Yeah,
getting
get
better.
better. I'm getting better, Mel.
Getting
It's
better.
like every time I just go, I didn't realize I've stopped. I've taken that time to do this just for me.
And
Yeah.
it's even when you say, I know that I'm a beautiful carer and I give to people, we can't change that.
Yeah.
That's part of who you are.
Yeah.
And it's knowing, I think, that instead of, when people say, well, you shouldn't do that and you shouldn't do this, you should have a
Yeah.
boundary, we change it to go, I'm totally allowed to be the beautiful carer and giver that I am because that's where my soul gets filled.
Yes.
But I'm also allowed to pick me
Yes.
and have a boundary and choose me and let more people help,
Yeah.
like the daughter
Yes.
or like the community that helps with our kids or like the school that helps with
Yes.
different things or the aides that help with things
Yeah.
like or people that mow your lawn or just whatever.
Sometimes just giving that, even giving like information over to somebody,
Yeah.
not doing it for them. I'm trying to support you as best I can. Here's a great service.
Yeah.
Look into it.
Yeah.
But then I'm going, okay, you've taken it to the next step.
Yeah.
Can you work with it from there? Because I need to step back because I'm getting burnt out or I'm getting tired.
And I think part of that, giving ourselves permission to support ourselves is going, hey, I'm allowed to give you a plan
Yeah.
B and then
Yeah.
step out. You can pick that up or not pick that
Yes.
up,
Yes.
but I'm just allowed to do that.
Yeah.
And it frees us. And
Yeah.
sometimes we need to do things like that to free instead
Yeah.
of just going, no, I'm not doing
'Cause
it.
I think that's what I've done in the past. It's just that cold turkey approach.
Yeah.
Like, it's just like,
But then we have
done.
guilt.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then all these other emotions come with that.
Yes.
So now
And then
it's
the
so much better
pain,
going,
then we go back.
"Well, I've given you this. You can choose what you do with it. You
Yeah.
can choose to act on it.
Yeah.
You can choose to sit on it,
Yes.
whatever, but I've done what I can.
Yeah.
Here are the supports. You've gotta help support
And
yourself."
it's such a beautiful way to know that, hey, this is a new way that I'm supporting me.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
it's good. See you there.
I'm getting there, Mel. I think I've got a lot more time on earth
Yeah,
to learn
me
these
too.
lessons.
I think it's such a beautiful awareness of that to go, okay, I'm going to now make sure I choose to look at what life living for
Yeah,
me is like,
yeah,
knowing that your life jacket is just
yeah.
changed to a different space.
Yes, for sure. And I do, I feel her, like, it might be a song. A
Yeah.
song will come on the radio. Like, I change radios all the time, so
Yeah.
I'm not loyal to one station. I flick and go, "Oh, I like this song," and then so the last week while I've been traveling to work, there has been a song, like, it'd be just the 2 of us, or like, there's something that I'm like, "I know you're with me."
Yeah.
It's like, "Yes,
Yeah.
I know you're there."
I love that. I
Yeah.
find that in that peaceful grief state, there's a term, but because
Yes.
grief returns you to you.
Yes.
No one can fix it. No one can make it better. People can empathize and they can say, wow, that's so
Yes.
hard. I lost my sister too. But they didn't lose your sister.
Yes.
It's not your story. So grief absolutely returns us to the depths of ourself because no one's there. No one
Yeah.
rescues us.
Yeah.
And in that quiet place where the pain has moments that it ebbs and we find
Yeah.
them, there's such a beautiful
Yeah.
connection in
They
that.
are.
Yeah. And that connection, I think, is what allows us to keep going
Yes.
because it's real. Like people can go, oh, I don't know if I believe in that. And you're like,
Yeah.
you can have that,
You can, yeah.
but I have a knowing,
Yes.
and it's
Yeah.
the knowing that is gonna help me keep going until my time passes and I know that I'm gonna
Yeah.
see them. And I'm not gonna let myself down or them that connection down.
Absolutely.
A lot of people that lose kids or babies in that I often say, "Oh, you need a soul baby." And that
Yeah.
soul baby is gonna it's almost like helping your higher self guide you, but it's just a different connection to you. And you see people again because it's such a unique space. No one else, it's your
Yes.
connection with your child. They help guide you in your life. It's the same for you because you're twins. It's like it's not the soul baby, but it's the other half of
Yeah.
you is here.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so for me, if you tried to disconnect from that, your life would be so filled with
Yeah.
things that pulled you back to that,
Yeah.
that it would almost be like for me, it would be like comical to see what would happen. Please don't try it
Yeah. No.
because it would be so powerful
Yes.
pulling you back.
Yeah.
So I think that being able to embrace this is there's a joy and a love and a curiosity in that to see, I wonder where this is going to take you. And it's the same with the kids when you have that different connection. There's a
Yeah.
powerful shift into that. And
So true.
yeah,
Yeah.
I love that. Is there anything else that you want to add or say or think or
I think so, Mel. I think you have just enlightened me. Just sometimes it's just flipping the script and going, have you thought about it from this perspective? And having that, it is like having my sister.
yeah,
Having you mentor me, guide me through it all and go, oh, I didn't think about that.
yeah,
And the profound effect it has when you don't, I feel like I've been running on a treadmill, and especially for the last 2 years with Binny. It's just, I've got to be here, I've got to be at the hospital. And like I found myself going, I don't think I made those last interactions meaningful enough. I think I just sat there, she was sleeping, obviously, heavily on drugs. And then I'm like, no, I know she knows that I was there. I know we had to sit there in those peak
this
moments.
transition.
And I'm so blessed, Mel, that I was there when she left this world. I cannot describe it. Like, it's something that you would think would come in a movie
Yeah.
or stuff, but when Belinda passed and I wasn't sure, like, I'm listening to her breathing and I'm like, I think she stopped breathing. And I've looked at her chest and I'm like, "It's not rising and falling anymore." And I went and got the nurse. These black butterflies that just appeared were so real. I could not, I'm like, I nearly turned to the nurse and said, "Did you see that?" And it was like, she left me. It's
You
okay.
could yeah.
I've moved over the bridge. I'm okay. And it was just, and I feel so blessed that I was able to be there when she left the world because I was there when she
Started
started
the
the
earth
world.
journey, yeah.
And as much as I get sad, I'm like, I would love to have been in the nursing home with you, picking our chin hairs together. I'm like, I got almost 50 years, and some people spend a lifetime trying to have
That
that
connection.
connection with someone. I'm so lucky that I had her as part of in my life, and that's what I've got to always remember. Like when I get sad, I've just gone,
Yeah,
made living
yeah.
so beautiful that in your passing, it's still beautiful. It's just a different beautiful. Yeah.
And it's so important that we hold both truths in that it is so painful and I'm allowed to grieve that.
Yes.
And I'm going to have moments and days and special things that I need to help me get through that. And moving that is important.
Yes.
And whether that's with crying or songs or writing or talking to people
Yeah.
that know, or because it doesn't just get better.
Yeah.
Because Earth is such an emotional
Yeah.
experience. Processing that is it's so important because no one can grieve how
I
we
think
need
that's
to.
what I miss most, Mel, is like the debrief. It's like
Yeah,
when I talk to
yeah.
you, somebody else's,
It's the phone call to go, "I think
what
this.
do you
What do you
think
think?"
this? And go, am I seeing it from a
Yeah.
completely, it's almost just having validation that what you're
100%.
thinking is okay and fine. And someone else going, "Yeah, I've felt like that before. I can understand. Have you tried this or what?"
Yeah.
It's just, I miss that.
Helps you not second guess.
Yeah.
You're like, "Am I being a dick about this?" And they're like, "Oh my God, no."
I think because 'cause I've always had that
Yeah.
sounding board, I've always, even when she was at her sickest, she'd still be
Yeah.
sending things to me, and we would send memes and stuff like that. And I'm like, oh, she just gets me. But I feel less burdened
Yeah.
having you in my life, and opening up my world
Yeah.
to see.
To be able to keep her. You
Yeah,
can keep her.
yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
And I love that.
Yeah.
And it does bring me great comfort. And that's why I said I try and speak her name as much as I can. Like, I've just returned to work, and I've gone back to the same workplace, and the kids are like, "Where did you go?" They don't understand. And I'll say, "I took time off to care for my sister." "Oh, yeah, she better?"
Yeah.
And then you and
Yeah.
then you're like, "Whoa, well, no, she's not better." "What do you mean she's not better? Like, don't people always get better?" Um, and I'm like, I didn't even see when I left work.
Yeah.
I was so focused on what I needed to do that was right for my family. I didn't really think about the
Yeah,
impact
the
it have on the
little
kids.
people, and that goes through all of the.
Yeah, yeah. So I thought, "That's okay. She's with us now." I said, "I think she's a little bee."
Yeah.
And then just
Yeah.
right near us, there's a flower with a bee buzzing around.
Yeah.
No, so yeah, I have my days. It just depends.
And you will.
And I just go, "That's
Yeah.
okay." I have said to myself, and especially, I'm hormone driven. Perimenopause, I find I cry more. And then I'm just like, "Okay, get on with it now, girl. You've had your moment." Yeah.
It is moving through it, and sometimes I find it comes out of nowhere.
Yes.
So you'll be trying to hold it together. I've been in a shop before in Fountain Gate, and a song came on, and I'm trying to purchase something. It was around Christmas time, and I'm just absolutely bawling my eyes out
Yeah.
as the shop as like, "But I have to buy this because I don't
Yeah.
wanna come back."
Yes.
And they're like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "You."
Yeah.
I'm fine."
Yeah.
Because we're not fine, but that's what we
Yeah.
say. But
Yeah.
it's like, I don't actually wanna open the bubble of the I'm just grieving,
Yes.
which I suppose we really should get better at,
Yeah.
because it was like, my body's just in the process and I have to let
Oh,
it
well,
be.
I hugged Lady in Coles the other day. Said she lost her mum this year.
Yeah.
And I just looked at her, I said, "Do you need a hug?" Because I could see that the tears were starting to well, and I was fine to respect if she didn't. We did. We sat there and we cried together. I said, "Well, I lost my sister this year." And I said, "Oh, well, at least we both got it out." And I
It's
feel like it
beautiful.
was, yeah, and we could support each other.
And that's it, it's the.
And you're a stranger.
Yes, but grief, real when we are honest with our grief, it actually dissolves all the judgment
Yes,
and the hierarchy of life, and it pulls us together in the same, we're just gonna get through. And
yes.
if it needs a hug from a stranger,
I'm sure the person next in line on the thing was looking, going, "What the?" But then that just tells me that they haven't experienced that yet.
yeah,
We're on this plane where we get it, whereas you might not have experienced that yet, and you're going, "Crazies." Yeah,
it's that. And
yeah,
that, I think grief pulls us out of what I say, the game of life,
yes,
and it makes everything softer,
yes.
and it makes us have more compassion for
Oh,
other
certainly
people.
does.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and I
yeah,
think that's important.
yeah.
It's a beautiful part of the grieving
There is,
process.
yeah, and
There's
there is
beauty.
beauty in the sad and sad times. There is beauty in everything.
In the ability that we get to tuck ourselves in with it,
Yeah,
because you try and fight through and think, "I'll just be okay." When it won't let you. Grief won't
yes,
let you do that.
yeah,
When it's real, true, massive,
yeah,
your person grief, it just won't
yeah,
let you get on with it. And so I find that a beautiful way, that is the knowing that we are meant to connect with ourselves in this lifetime and know how to hold the space for ourselves and know how to love ourselves and support ourselves through everything.
yeah,
And difficult as grief is, I think it's a beautiful doorway into that
yeah,
space.
agree.
And I think, for you, that's been a beautiful part in working with that, to soften the, I don't want to do this for me, to go the, I am going to honor me while I go
Yeah,
through this.
yeah,
And that's been such a beautiful place to share with you.
yeah. Thank you, Mel.
Oh, you're so welcome. Thank you for doing this
Oh,
cast with me.
thank you.
I am very grateful to you. I love you a lot.
Yeah, love you too.